Well, one of the things we're looking for is a deep commitment to Georgia, people who have lived in Georgia, people who plan to practice in Georgia, and also people who've done some thinking about how they're going to structure their career around primary care and around service to the citizens of Georgia. So in the application, we look at things you've done for people less fortunate than yourself, orientations you've had to let us know that you understand what primary care is. If you've shadowed with a primary care physician, we look at your essay to see how well you really understand the field that you're going to be getting into, what you understand medicine is in the context of what's going on in this country and also in the state of Georgia.
Our school was started as a partnership between Mercer University and the state of Georgia. The state has always supported us significantly financially, and the reason they've been willing to do that is because our school has a mission, and that mission is to prepare physicians to practice primary care in rural and underserved parts of Georgia. And we believe very strongly in that mission. We don't require it, but we try to slant our admissions process toward people who we believe are likely to satisfy our mission.
One of the understandings we have on the admissions committee is that the stronger the roots are to Georgia, the more likely you are going to serve in Georgia. And because of that, we look at people who basically are Georgia residents and can prove that they're a Georgia resident. There's a lot of data out there, there's a lot of studies showing that the more the ties to an area, the more likely you are to go back to take care of the people in that area.
If I have two nearly identical academically qualified interviews, if one of them comes from North Atlanta, and one of them comes from, say, Blakely or some small town somewhere in Georgia, that small town person, frankly, has an advantage for us. People who have grown up in a small town are much more likely to go back to one than people who've never lived in a small town.
In our admissions process, we look for activities you have done on your own to show that you want to better understand the field you're getting into. Some of these have to do with volunteer activities that you do, and this is not what you did in your fraternity one weekend. This is something showing a continuing commitment to understand the issues that impact healthcare, the issues that impact people who come from less fortunate situations, and also show that you have an active interest in understanding the profession you're getting into. One of the best ways of doing this is shadowing, and it's not one day with one doctor. This is a long-term shadowing process where you develop a relationship, preferably with somebody in primary care, that shows that you have been around this person, you understand this person, you've had a chance to interact with patients in proper situations, and from this type of long-term shadowing, you get some idea whether or not you really understand the business that you're getting into.
Likewise, if I have two totally comparable applicants, one of them has been very active outside of school, but their activity has been the basketball team, the golf team, maybe the beta club, whereas the other one's activity has been they've established the Habitat for Humanity program for the school, or they've gone out and worked with people in a clinic who needed help, or they've organized other fellow students to go work with some charity. That person has shown an interest in serving those who need help, and so that person likewise will have a better chance of getting into Mercer than the person who hasn't done such things.
One of the favorite quotes I have to try to explain what we're trying to do comes from the great philosopher Mike Ditka. And when he was saying, what's it take to win at a level, he said it's very important that you look and try to recruit people in. They need to have a combination of talent and mission, because if you have mission without talent, that is a daydream. If you have talent without mission, that is a nightmare. What we're trying to do in the admissions committee is to sort out the daydreamers and the nightmares. Because what we want to do is get people who can get the job done, can master this curriculum, but are going to go out to an underserved community. That's what's going to win for the citizens of Georgia, and that's what we're looking for in this admissions committee.
By the way we look at admissions, I think our results speak for themselves. We have a high percentage of our graduates, about 2/3 of them, ended up in Georgia, which is the most important thing to us of all. So that's why we don't even look at people who are not from Georgia. You have to be a Georgia resident to go here. So we have a high percentage there, and of those who ended up in Georgia, a very high percentage have ended up in primary care, which has been our goal all along. So I think we've done a good job of satisfying the hope that the state had for us and the hope that the university had for this school when it was started. And it's been a really good ongoing partnership, which we obviously hope will continue.